A millionaire real estate king was found executed in his bed. Years later, a mother disappears at sea with her son. Only he washes up alone 8 days later. The man rescued becomes the prime suspect. But as you dig deeper, the case fractures. Wealth, suspicion, family betrayal, and a truth nobody can prove. This is the story of Nathan Carman, John Chocolos, and a fortune soaked in fear. Behind every empire are secrets. For John Chocolos, that empire was built on nursing homes and real estate, a multi-generational fortune many envied. He had 4 daughters. One of them was Linda Carman. And then there was her son, Nathan Carman, the only grandson, the heir in waiting. Many viewed Nathan as a favored heir, raised under the protective wing of a grandfather who doted on him. But the family was fractured. Reports described domestic tension, arguments, abuse, control. Some relatives painted Chocolos as volatile, especially toward his daughters. Nathan struggled. Diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, socially awkward, emotionally tangled. His relationship with his mother was complex. His bond with his grandfather strong. This volatile mix, power, wealth, mental health, secrets, and resentment, set up a dangerous stage. And tragedy didn't wait long to arrive. On December 20th, 2013, the quiet of a wealthy Connecticut home shattered forever. John Chocolos, 87 years old, was found dead in his bed, executed, shot at close range. No signs of forced entry. No robbery. It was personal. Investigators found a chilling detail. The gun was likely a Sig Sauer rifle, and records showed Nathan had purchased 1 week earlier. Also around that time, Nathan had reportedly discarded his computer's hard drive and lied about owning any firearm. He was the last person known to see his grandfather alive. Suspicion turned hard. Family members fought in bitterness and fear. The once close family splintered behind whispered blame and hidden anger. But despite these signs, the financial motive, the strange behavior, the web of secrets, no arrest warrant was signed. The evidence felt like sand slipping away. No charges, no closure, just a trail of pain and unanswered questions. The Washington. Some say the murder was a desperate grab for inheritance. Others whisper darker things: betrayal, greed, rage. In that silence, the seed of another tragedy took root. Fast forward to September 17, 2016. Nathan and his mother Linda set out for a routine fishing trip from Rhode Island. Nothing unusual, just a chance to reconnect. But they never returned. The authorities launched a desperate search that spanned 62,000 nautical square miles. Days stretched into a horrifying limbo of fear, hope, and disbelief. Then, 8 days later, a freighter spotted Nathan, alone, drifting on a life raft about 100 miles south of Martha's Vineyard. Linda was nowhere to be found. The rescue turned national news. A miraculous survival story. A young man adrift at sea for more than a week, rescued against all odds. For many, it seemed like a second chance. For investigators, it raised red flags. Something didn't add up. The boat he was on, the chickenpox, had reportedly been modified before departure. Trim tabs removed, suspect hull work done. According to records, the modifications could have made the boat unstable and prone to sinking. Nathan claimed the sinking was an accident. The boat just dropped out from under him. But the inconsistencies piled up. No emergency radio call, no flares activated, no logical rescue signal. He had the tools and the chance to call for help. He didn't. And the truth began sinking with the boat. As the dust of the sea settled, investigators reopened the cold case of John Chocolos. Linda's disappearance wasn't isolated. It fit a pattern. A pattern of death, inheritance, and unanswered guilt. Prosecutors laid out a dark theory. Nathan had allegedly killed his grandfather to trigger a multi-million-dollar estate. Then, years later, he staged a boating accident to vanish his mother, the remaining heir, and claim even more. Insurance investigators denied his claim. The sunk boat, combined with the modifications, the missing emergency signals, and his calm post-rescue behavior, it didn't look like an accident anymore. Family members pushed a slayer action, a legal move to prevent Nathan from inheriting because he was suspected of killing to get rich. Inside the courtroom of public opinion, Nathan became a villain. But outside, there were whispers. Did investigators really have enough evidence? Or had they overinterpreted silence and neurodivergence? Nathan was diagnosed with autism, a condition his supporters argue authorities misunderstood. In a world where money and legacy rule, truth often becomes a casualty. In 2022, after years of suspicion and investigation, Nathan Carman was indicted for the murder of his mother and formally linked to his grandfather's 2013 death. Prosecutors charged him with murder at sea and fraud, alleging he manipulated the boat sale, the insurance, the story. Carman pleaded not guilty. He maintained his innocence. Underneath it all, he claimed his autism and mental health history had been twisted into evidence of guilt. The courtroom drama, the media frenzy, the broken family, it all pointed to a showdown. A trial scheduled for October 2023. The world was waiting for answers, closure, justice. But as investigators prepared their evidence, nothing could have prepared them for what came next. In June 2023, while held in jail, Nathan Carman was found unresponsive in his cell. He was 29. His death was ruled a suicide. There was no trial, no verdict, no final judgment. All charges were dismissed. The case, the investigation, the public fury, the rumors died with him. But his legacy? It lived on. In confusion, in grief, in unanswered questions. If guilt was the truth, justice never saw it. If innocence was the truth, the system never cleared his name. And now no jury, no verdict, just silence. In November 2025, Netflix released The Carman Family Deaths, a documentary meant to retell the story. But when the pictures filled the screen, so did the questions. The film revisited every dark chapter. The 2013 murder, the 2016 disappearance, the 2022 indictment, the 2023 jail death. Families were interviewed. Investigators spoke. Evidence was shown. But as the final credits rolled, many viewers felt the story stayed open-ended, not solved, just re-examined. Critics and supporters both had reactions. Some said the documentary finally exposed the truth, how money and suspicion can destroy a family. Others argued it glossed over key details. Allegations that certain testimonies and alternative suspects were ignored. That neurodivergence was misinterpreted as coldness. That motives may have extended beyond inheritance. The biggest question hung heavier than ever. Without a full trial, and with the suspect dead, can justice or truth ever truly be served in this case? For many, the documentary reopened wounds. For others, it sparked a hunger for answers. Because in a story of wealth, tragedy, and suspicion, the line between guilty and innocent can blur. And sometimes the film ends, but the mystery doesn't. Here's what's not disputed. John Shakalos, wealthy real estate developer, was murdered in 2013 under suspicious circumstances. His grandson, Nathan Carman, was the last known person to see him alive, had purchased a matching firearm, and destroyed digital evidence shortly after. In 2016, Nathan and his mother vanished at sea after a fishing trip. Nathan was rescued alone, mother never found. During the rescue and afterward, investigators found inconsistencies. Boat modifications, lack of emergency signals, suspicious insurance attempts, contradicting drift paths. Nathan was indicted in 2022. Before the trial, he died by suicide in 2023. All charges were dismissed. These facts stand. But beyond them, every conclusion depends on interpretation. Multiple theories swirl around this case, none proven, none fully discarded. Theory A. Murder for inheritance. Grudge, opportunity, wealth. Nathan allegedly killed his grandfather and later his mother to inherit millions. Theory B, sabotage, but not murder. The boat modifications made the vessel unsafe. Perhaps the sinking was an accident birthed from negligence or poor decision, not premeditated murder. Theory C, someone else entirely. Some statements, including from a long-time family groundskeeper, claim a third party offered to kill John Chocolos, mounting suspicion that Nathan might have been scapegoated. Theory D, misinterpretation of autism. Nathan's autism may have shaped his behavior, quiet, detached, something the legal and social system misread as guilt. Supporters argue this misunderstanding led to harsh suspicion. Each theory carries weight. None offers closure. The more people dig, the messier it becomes. As of now, the estate battles continue. Family feuds simmer. Lawyers argue. The public watches, speculates, debates. And the wounds remain fresh. This isn't just a crime story. It's about money, family, identity, neurodiversity, justice, doubt. It's about how a single night can shatter generations. About the fragility of truth, the power of perception. About a system structured to convict or acquit long before a trial begins. For many Americans, the story reflects fear and fascination in equal measure. A privileged family torn apart by tragedy. A young man with autism struggling under suspicion. A mother lost at sea. A grandfather killed in his sleep. Everyone wants answers. Closure. But closure never came. And that, the unfulfilled resolution, may be why viewers can't look away. Because deep down we sense, maybe this time we'll uncover the missing piece. If there is a final chapter, it hasn't been written yet. The case remains officially unresolved. The documentary ended. The suspect is dead. The courtroom empty. But the questions survive. Who really killed John Chocolos? And why? What happened on that fishing trip, accident or murder? Did Nathan Carman get justice or prejudice? Will we ever know the truth, or will this remain another wealthy family tragedy buried under silence? For now, all we have are pieces, testimonies, fractured memories, missing bodies, unanswered calls, money trail, shadows of doubt. If you close this video thinking you have the answer, remember this. Real life rarely gives neat endings. But maybe, just maybe, someone somewhere is still digging. And one day the book might finally close. Until then, the mystery remains.